Seeing is believing. It's hard to know just how powerful Victor is based on hearsay. It is even more difficult to understand how terrifying a monster's destructive power is. Now, Victor will use today's battle to show everything to the world. Under the comments of tens of millions of people, Victor transformed. Victor transformed into a titan over 30 meters tall. At the same time, under the control of the Golden Lion, the floating houses and soil layers formed a lion hundreds of meters long. The lion opened its jaws wide and rushed towards Victor. Victor faced the lion and threw a punch. Armament hockey is poured into the lion, from the inside out. Instantly the lion was blown to pieces. This is not over yet. Victor grabbed the void with his left hand, gathering the power of thunder in the air again. The spear of Zeus. Immediately, Stormpike was thrown out and flew towards the Golden Lion. Golden Lion faced Thunder Spear and slashed down with a sword. Jhin Bow chopped off Thunder Spear. However, Victor once again harnessed the gust of wind, throwing the condensed Thunder Spears with his left and right hands, and each throwing spear attack would shorten the distance between him and the Golden Lion. Golden Lion knew that after Victor's transformation, his speed and strength were greatly improved. Therefore, Golden Lion did not choose to go head-to-head. He tilted his body slightly, avoiding the Thunder Spear, and continued to charge forward. He will not be timid in the face of Victor. The strong don't flinch. The Golden Lion's actions made Victor smile with satisfaction. Very good. You can go die. With a roar, Victor became irritable. The tattoo on his body turned fiery red, and flames were burning in his eyes. With a roar, he controlled the power of the flames and punched continuously. Punch after punch, move after move, Golden Lion kept dodging. But the more he dodged, the crazier Victor's attacks became. Under the destruction of Victor, the entire capital of Seven Waters, houses were bombed down, not only collapsed, but the fist of flame spread the flames, and the fire quickly burned up. At this time, the civilians who were watching the battle in Sabodi Archipelago and other places, each of them received a strong visual impact. Is Golden Lion scary? Pretty scary. However, Marine Admiral is just as scary. The fighting power of the two of them seems to be between equals. Who wins and who loses? Who will have the last laugh? Everyone's heart is hanging. At the same time, Sora, Sengoku and others watched the battle through the curtain. The Seven Waters are about to be destroyed, Sengoku said solemnly. Kong didn't answer. He didn't have time to take care of civilian losses and casualties now. Victor's capture plan was successful and successfully led out the Golden Lion. Now, all it takes is to catch the Golden Lion again and it's over. However, Golden Lion is not as simple as it seems on the surface. How easy is it to catch the Golden Lion? The entire city of Seven Waters was shrouded in black smoke, blocking the light. No piece of land on the island is complete. Victor and Golden Lion's destruction of the capital of Seven Waters was complete, without any stinginess. The two top powerhouses in the world did not hold back at all. Golden Lion is using his greatest strength to vent the anger and resentment that has accumulated in his heart for a long time. You guys can really pretend. Golden Lion knew that Victor hadn't used his full strength yet. At this moment, Victor was holding a thunderblade in his hand and pushing Golden Lion hard. Golden Lion suddenly withdrew his force, causing Victor's body to lean forward, and he raised his foot, replacing the sharp sword in his lower leg, and slashed viciously at Victor's neck artery in conjunction with the rotation of his body. The strength of Golden Lion is not only based on lion fruit, he can keep pace with Roger and Whitebeard, but also depends on his own hockey and swordsmanship. Especially dual swords. Golden Lion is based on speed, so his body skills are weird. Golden Lion's kick was very sudden, and he also predicted that Victor would give up the attack because of it. After all, once he loses his attack target, his actions will slow down a lot. But the fact is, not only did Victor not give up the attack. Instead, he took the opportunity to speed up, pushing the speed to ultimate. With one step, the distance is 10 meters. This speed is even faster than the speed that Victor erupted just now. Golden Lion didn't expect Victor to be able to do this, and was immediately frightened. He instinctively retracted his attack. Boom! Victor's right arm hit the Golden Lion's chest directly. What? Golden Lion howled in pain. Victor's hammer-like fist hit Golden Lion's abdomen directly. The incomparable power sent the Golden Lion flying, fell to the ground, and knocked down several buildings. PFF'd. Golden Lion spat out a mouthful of blood. He knew that he still underestimated him. At that moment, Victor's eyes looked exactly like that man's. No, not like, but they are all a kind of people. Kahahahahaha. Golden Lion felt pleasure, he found new pleasure. Roger, it's a shame you didn't get a chance to see it. Golden Lion wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, then stared at Victor with crazy eyes. For a man like you, being a marine is such a waste. Come and cooperate with me. As long as we join forces, the world will be ours. Although Golden Lion didn't know what Roger wanted, he knew that Roger must have something he was after. The same goes for Victor. Cooperation? Victor sneered. Do you think the righteous Marine Admiral will cooperate with the evil pirates? With that said, Victor threw himself at Golden Lion again. Boom 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 boom. Victor waved his iron fist frantically, hitting the Golden Lion again and again. Golden Lion brandished the double knives in his hands, resisting Victor's attack. Just then, an ice spear charged at the Golden Lion. Observation Hockey of Golden Lion noticed it, but before he had time to dodge, the ice spear had pierced his back. In an instant, the frozen air in the ice spear froze most of the Golden Lion's body. It's Aokiji. Everyone leaned over one after another, only to see Aokiji walking slowly. His face was covered with frost, and when he walked, his body was emitting white air. Breathing, it makes people feel strong. Yamato terrible. Sengoku is busy enough to send you here. Victor feigned displeasure, and he frowned slightly. In fact, this was all within his expectations. How could Sengoku give up the stage to Victor to perform alone? What exactly are you protecting? Aokiji said coldly. The ground under his feet was scorched black, and flames were everywhere. It is true that Victor wanted to catch the Golden Lion, but this is a densely populated city. How many innocent people will be killed in this battlefield with Golden Lion without evacuating the citizens? As the commander of this mission, I did not let you join this mission. Victor said with a deadpan expression that he had already considered all possible situations. Among them, Sengoku's Tien Ran is also included. In the original plot, Aokiji was just adding to the chaos in the Summit War. If it wasn't for his troubles, the Whitebeard pirates would have no chance of escaping. Aokiji's face is getting colder and colder. Today, the number of people who died in the capital of Seven Waters has far exceeded that of Ohara. There are victims everywhere. Children were crying beside the ruins of the house, and their parents were crushed inside the house, dying. And the mother who lost her child is trying to dig up the house with bloody hands. But she was just in vain. Mommy, mommy. The child cried heartrendingly. His mother looked at him with a sense of desperation as the fire around him grew bigger and bigger. Mother, Jim, stretched out her thin hands, trying to touch the baby. However, in the next second, a powerful force attacked, tossing her whole body and falling heavily to the ground. What? Her body rolled in the ruins, moaning in pain. Just now, Victor and Golden Lion fought hard, and the impact of their armament hockey once again shocked the capital of Seven Waters. Of course, for the strong, this is nothing at all. However, for ordinary people, the shock generated by the monster's casual blows can kill ordinary people. Aokiji watched all this. He clenched the ice spear in his hand. His face was frosty, but the anger in his heart couldn't be suppressed. Victor just blocked the Golden Lion's attack, and then he punched the Golden Lion. Titan Broken Star. Victor gathered his strength and launched a terrifying blow towards the Golden Lion. This punch seemed to have the power to destroy the world, comparable to a supernova explosion. Boom. The fist blasted into the ground, and the terrifying energy exploded deep in the ground. With Victor as the center, gravel splashed everywhere, hitting all around one after another. Like a meteorite hit. The resulting shockwave killed thousands of people. Not only that, Jhin has not retreated, and the whole city is still shaking. This made the already devastated city worse. At this time, buildings with higher altitudes in the city were shaken, and the buildings slipped. Seeing this, Aokiji raised his hand immediately, and saw that Aokiji condensed the freezing air into an ice bird, and the ice bird flew towards the sliding building. In an instant, all those buildings were frozen, preventing the buildings from continuing to slide, and saving the lives of hundreds of citizens. The townspeople, who had managed to survive from the Shinigami, all cast grateful glances at Aokiji. However, the attention of Victor and many Marines is not on Aokiji at all. The focus, including the image bug, is also on the Golden Lion. Compared with the life and death of those citizens, everyone is concerned about the result of the battle between Victor and Golden Lion. Even though the Golden Lion defended with armament haki, it was still thrown 500 or 600 meters away. In the end, its body crashed into dozens of houses in a row before it barely stopped. The smoke dissipated and the dust settled. Damn it. Golden Lion gritted his teeth and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. He hated this passive feeling. Just being attacked from behind by Aokiji, the ice spear frostbitten part of Golden Lion's blood vessels, and now half of his body is numb. Against Victor in this situation, it seems very passive. However, the Golden Lion discovered one thing. Aokiji seemed to have no intention of continuing to siege him. And, Aokiji is still helping ordinary people. What a stupid guy. An idea flashed through Golden Lion's mind. Since Aokiji wants to save people, let him save enough. Lion Majesty. Earth coiling. Golden Lion raised his hands, and the surrounding buildings and formations flew up again, forming a giant lion in the air. At the same time, Golden Lion moved quickly by himself, and had already moved to a crowded place. He's going to get more people into the fight, keeping Aokiji too busy saving people to mob him. Victor noticed Golden Lion's thoughts, he snorted coldly, and then he whispered. Life returns 8 inner gates open. As Victor's breathing changes, his eyes completely change. Sharp, like a sharp knife out of its sheath. At this time, Victor consumes body energy through overloading to increase attack power and speed. Victor wanted to end the fight. Golden Lion has seen Victor use this trick before. He grinned and said, "You Marines have always been so despicable. You always like to fight with more and fight with less. Last time you were a kid playing with fire, this time you are playing with ice." Victor said disapprovingly, "Yes, we Marine just like to beat more people than others. Are you not convinced? A person like you is not worthy of being the old man's opponent." Golden Lion wants to defeat Victor, because Victor has the same aura as Roger. Golden Lion believes that Victor will not be weaker than Roger. However, today's battle is unfair. As the Golden Lion controlled the giant lion to pounce on Victor, he himself flew towards the sky. If he wants to leave, no one can stop him. However, at this moment, a giant eagle flew past at an extremely fast speed. Far faster than Golden Lion. A man stands on the back of the giant eagle. His appearance, the Golden Lion will not forget. It is a Kainu. A Kainu is an ambush arranged by Victor. If the Golden Lion wants to run away, he's in charge of the interception. At this moment, Felix carried a Kainu into the sky. A Kainu blasted Dark Hound at Golden Lion. Black and gray sharp claws spurted out, attacking the Golden Lion's cheek. Golden Lion's pupils constricted while twisting his body, dodging a Kainu's successive attacks as he rolled in the air. However, his frostbitten half of his body still limited his mobility. Finally, a Kainu's sharp claws hit the Golden Lion's chest. Although Golden Lion blocked his chest with a knife. However, Golden Lion was blasted back to the ground. Boom. There was another loud bang, and the Golden Lion was blasted into the formation. Hateful. Golden Lion gritted his teeth, blood spilled from the corner of his mouth. Just as he was gnashing his teeth, he heard Victor's roar. 6 styles. Titan Genesis Nova. I saw Victor floating in the air, his whole body was covered with thunder, and behind him, dark clouds were densely covered, and the thunder and lightning came out of the dark clouds, turning into thunder snakes and being captured by Victor. Next, Victor wrapped armament haki around the razor, and the 2 razors were fused together. It contains terrifying energy, as if it can open up the world. Zzz. Under everyone's gaze, a huge purple-red thunderball condensed in Victor's hand. In the thunderball, the 2 thunder snakes were still swimming. Die. Boom. Victor blasted towards the Golden Lion directly below. Seeing this, Golden Lion knew that he couldn't dodge in time, so he could only block it hard. Armament haki with twin swords wrapped around. Lion Thousand Blade Slash. The Golden Lion roared angrily, and slashed at Victor hastily. The blade split the thunderball and landed on Victor's shoulder. At the same time, razor poured into Golden Lion through the blade. Raiden and haki intertwined, destroying the Golden Lion's body from the inside. This time, the Golden Lion fell again. Victor walked to Golden Lion's side, and at the same time, he lifted the status of life return. Witnessed by tens of millions of viewers, Victor stretched out his right hand, which condensed a blue knife. The blade condensed by the wind element also cut off Golden Lion's hands. Then, Victor grabbed Golden Lion's head with one hand and raised it up. This scene is declaring the complete defeat of Golden Lion. The current Golden Lion has lost both hands and legs, and is no different from a disabled person. Long live Lord Victor! 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 At this time, on the warships around the capital of Seven Waters, the Marines shouted loudly, cheered, and celebrated the victory. Through the live broadcast, people all over the world also saw this scene. Then, people all over the place also started to cheer. The Golden Lion is the villain of an era. His death naturally made the people very relieved. It's just that no one noticed the tragic situation in the capital of Seven Waters. All people care about is winning. Victor took the Golden Lion to greet victory and honor. Aokiji looked at Victor's back. He watched all this silently. He's not jealous of Victor. Only is this really correct? Who cares about the victims of the capital of Seven Waters? This beautiful city is in ruins. Is this the justice Victor wants? Eliminate all pirates by any means. Aokiji clenched his fists. Thank you, uncle. Just then, a little girl came to Aokiji's side and thanked him. The little girl's mother is behind her, watching the girl and the girl's mother. Aokiji nodded slightly, then turned and left silently. Marineford, Naval Headquarters. Caught him again. Sora rubbed his head and said to Sengoku. After capturing the Golden Lion again, Victor's popularity in Marine is unprecedented. It is said that Garp is a Marine hero who once defeated Rocks. However, for young people, this incident is just a legend. Young people have never seen the power of Garp. Victor, on the other hand, is much smarter. Not only defeated the Golden Lion, but also broadcast live to all over the world. Seeing is believing. It is not clear whether Garp is serious or not. But Victor is really strong. Moreover, capturing the Golden Lion twice is impeccable both in terms of strategy and force. After all, no one at Naval Headquarters has ever matched that feat. Sengoku was silent. You don't have much time left, Sora said to Sengoku. I understand. Sengoku nodded. I hope you will take over as the marshal, so I can rest assured. Kong sighed. What he said was true. It's not just Sora's idea to let Sengoku succeed the Marine Marshal, but Sora thinks it's also the Five Elders' idea. Victor is very strong and capable. However, Victor was too aggressive. Although Victor can also perform the tasks of Five Elders in Celestial Dragons, the world that Victor wants is different from the world that Five Elders wants. However, Victor's prestige is now greatly increased. Whether it's within Marine or around the world, the strongest Admiral is Victor, unless Sengoku can capture Whitebeard. The Holy Land Mariajoy, among the flowers in the deepest part of Pengu City. At this moment, the Five Elders were kneeling on the ground, bowing their heads. In the entire Mariajoy, the only person who can make them behave like this is I am, the king of the world. The Five Elders act as puppets, the Taiams who control the world. However, this does not mean that I am has nothing to do every day. Nothing that happens in the world can escape Im's eyes. Includes Victor and the Golden Lion fight. He's a fun guy. M said suddenly. The him in Im's mouth refers to Victor. Five Elders heard the words, lowered their heads and made eye contact. It is said that accompanying a king is like accompanying a tiger. Five Elders is no exception. They always try to figure out Im's thoughts, and avoid saying wrong things, which will make Im unhappy. However, if there are more people like him in Marine, can you manage it? M continued. The Five Elders were shocked when they heard this. Does Master Im mean to get rid of Victor? The thought came to Five Elders' mind. Don't deal with him for now. Im saw what Five Elders was thinking, and he said unhurriedly, I also want to see how crazy he can go. Yes. The Five Elders answered in unison. The paper delivery bird flew all over the world. The news that Golden Lion was captured for the second time spread like snowflakes. Soon, the whole world knew that the Golden Lion had been captured alive again by Victor. And, not only captured alive, Victor also disabled both of the Golden Lion's hands. The Golden Lion who lost his arms and legs is almost like a cripple. Compared with the previous Marines, Victor's approach is indeed a bit cruel. At least Sengoku, Garp, Zephyr, etc. will not do such a thing. Moby Dick aboard. Whitebeard frowned after reading the contents of the newspaper. Daddy, Shiki's gone, Marco said to Whitebeard. It is already a miracle that Golden Lion can escape from impelled down. Although he lost 2 legs, his popularity has not diminished but increased. because the Golden Lion is the only one who can escape from impelled down. However, Golden Lion really met fate's nemesis. When he was caught again by Victor, the era of the Golden Lion was over. Even if Golden Lion can break out of prison for the second time, not many people are willing to follow him. What's more, after being defeated for the second time, can Golden Lion make a comeback? Yeah. Whitebeard nodded, agreeing with Marco. There has never been a lack of ambitious people in the sea, but in the end, they will either be buried in the sea, or be eliminated by the times, and disappear from then on. Let's stay away from that lunatic in the future. Yeah, he actually chose to arrest people in the capital of 7 waters. The death toll in the capital of 7 waters exceeds 500,000, and the number of injured is countless. Joes and others were discussing. Below the front page, there is also the current situation of the capital of 7 waters. It was horrible. At this moment, Teach looked at the photo of Victor in the newspaper, eating a Sakura peach pie, and murmured, "What a dangerous guy." At the same time, New World Cake Island, Wano-kuni and many other places were also discussing this matter. Victor's madness made the monsters in New World feel threatened. East Blue, a small island called Talon. The island has just been attacked by pirates. Bodies littered the island from the beach to the town. There are civilians and there are pirates. In a house that burned down to nothing but the yard, Shanks and Usopp were grilling meat. Pirate corpses were piled up all around the yard. On the neck of the corpse, there were uniform knife wounds, which were fatal. There are even angry expressions on the faces of these pirates. They witness the strength of the monster, instantly kill their strength. Shanks looked at the newspaper, his expression serious. Usopp noticed Shanks' anomaly, and he hurriedly asked, "What's wrong?" Still staring at the newspaper, Shanks said, "He sure is crazy." Who? Since Shanks kidnapped Usopp from the house, it was the first time that Usopp saw Shanks read the newspaper so seriously. Shanks said seriously, "Marine Admiral Black Horse. Zon Ma, I know him. What happened to him?" Usopp asked curiously. Although Usopp usually doesn't care about current affairs news, Victor is really famous. After all, the great pirate Golden Lion and the Red Earl were all captured alive by Victor. Shanks replied, "He's got the Golden Lion again. Caught it again." Usopp was stunned. "Look at this picture." Shanks handed the newspaper to Usopp. Usopp was about to read the headlines when Shanks said, "See below." Only then did Usopp look down. When he saw the photo below, there was a line of numbers behind it. Usopp was stunned. The number of victims has exceeded 500,000. Moreover, a comparison photo of the capital of 7 waters is also shown. The capital of 7 waters before the war, and the capital of 7 waters after the war. After the war, the capital of the 7 waters was in a mess everywhere, and it had already changed beyond recognition. In order to catch the Golden Lion, he paid such a high price. Is Marine crazy? Usopp was stunned, he couldn't believe what he saw. So, Mr. Roger is doing the right thing. Shanks drank and muttered to himself. At the cost of his life, Roger completely disrupted the order of the sea and tried to upset the world. There are some things that Shanks may not have understood in the past. However, gradually, he slowly understood. Maybe Roger is doing it wrong. However, this is the only way Roger can think of and implement it. Marineford, Naval Headquarters. Victor Admiral seized the Golden Lion again. It seems that the next marshal must be Victor Admiral. Although Sengoku Admiral has higher qualifications and good ability, Victor Admiral is really too dazzling. Master Victor is the future of Marine. Master Victor. You bastard. You really joined the Blue Ocean Club. Golden Lion destroyed my hometown. I was really relieved to see Lord Victor cut off his arms. In Naval Headquarters, some mid-level and low-level military officers began to talk about the next marshal successor. However, this is also normal, because Sora is getting older and older, and a new term is just around the corner. I heard that Sakazuki Vice Admiral will be promoted to Admiral. Who said it? He helped Victor Admiral again this time. The last time I helped Victor Admiral, I promoted him to Vice Admiral. If you want to be promoted, it must be Kuzan Vice Admiral. Kuzan Vice Admiral also contributed this time and saved a lot of people. Even without the Kuzan Vice Admiral, Lord Victor can capture the Golden Lion. Without Kuzan Vice Admiral, more people would have died. Is it easy to catch the Golden Lion for nothing? Does a little cost mean more than 500,000 civilians? If you don't catch him, more people will die. How many brothers died during the escape from Golden Lion? We are Marines, and we have long been ready to sacrifice for justice, and they are civilians, innocent. As long as there are people, there will be debates, especially when each holds his own and brings his own point of view. Now Naval Headquarters, the radical Marine headed by the Blue Ocean Society, and the traditional Justice, Dove Marine, the conflict between the two parties has been completely detonated by this incident. Although there is no level of incompatibility, it is normal to quarrel when meeting each other. There was nothing Sora could do about it, can't hold it down. Victor's influence and appeal are expanding, both within Marine and around the world. At this time, Sora was in the office, talking with Victor and Sengoku. Kuang said, "There is a promotion to Admiral, who do you want to recommend?" Victor smoked a cigarette and said with a smile, "Of course I recommend Sakazuki." Sora looked at Sengoku. "I recommend Kuzan," Sengoku said. Then, Sengoku added, "Kuzan performed very well in the roundup of the Golden Lion this time, which is obvious to all, and preserved Marine's face of justice. The implication is that Marine's justice has been discredited by Victor." Victor smoked a cigarette and said, "I originally just wanted to catch Golden Lion in a one-on-one way. You all know the character of Golden Lion. Unless his brain is pumped, he won't fight to the end." Don't wait for Sora and Sengoku to speak. Victor smiled and said, "Didn't the Golden Lion escape from the Marine's siege back then in the Valley of the Gods?" "It was different back then." Sengoku was about to refute. Victor asked Sengoku, "If you were faced with an opponent you could beat, would you run away?" Sengoku couldn't answer the call. "The last time I lost to me was because we had a lot of people. This time, Golden Lion thought he could win against me. That's why he dared to fight me." But, during the battle, a Kuzan suddenly appeared? Golden Lion almost ran away at that time, nearly causing a catastrophe. Victor's voice became louder and louder. "Sengoku uncle, you know tactics. If you don't pay a certain price, can the so-called strategy succeed? Don't say it's 500,000 deaths, as long as you can catch the Golden Lion, 5 million deaths are worth it." Sengoku held back and couldn't speak, but, from his face, it was obvious that he was also very upset now. Was preached by Victor. Of course, Kuzan does have credit too. Victor changed the subject. "Let's let it go this time, I won't hold him accountable." Sengoku scowled. "Okay." Sora frowned, and said, "Let's give Sakazuki the promotion quota this time." "Yes." Sengoku nodded, obedient. After all, it's Victor's job to catch the Golden Lion. By letting Aokiji in on the mission, Ben is overstepping his authority. Victor was very happy to see Sengoku deflated, and he said politely, "Sengoku uncle, I'm just talking about the facts, I don't mean to target or criticize you, don't take it to heart." Sabodi Archipelago, inside Victor's villa. Stella was busy preparing for a banquet. Today is the 7th day of catching the Golden Lion. Victor is going to invite Akainu and others to his home. Of course, in addition to Akainu, the senior generals of the Blue Ocean Club will also come. Fresh ingredients from all over the world are processed by the chef and turned into a series of delicacies. Among the busy chefs is Jessica, wife of Marine Rear Admiral Jonathan. Jessica is also very excited to be invited by Victor Admiral today. Up and down Marine, everyone is rumoring that Victor will be the next marshal. Of course, even if Victor is not the marshal now, Victor is now the future star of Marine. It seems that he is going to succeed Garp and become the new hero of Marine. Being invited by Victor will be helpful for Jonathan's future. Although Jonathan is now Rear Admiral, and is a good friend with Akainu Vice Admiral. But wouldn't it be better to get the attention of Victor Admiral? In addition to Jessica, many wives of generals also participated in it. The WAGs formed by the ladies are also very influential in naval headquarters. There are so many people today. Hancock sat on the roof, watching the busy women below. "They're all here to flatter Lord Victor." Hancock chuckled, and took the freshly fried squid skewers, one bite at a time. "Really fragrant. Same goes for Sandersonia and Marigold." Kuina glanced at the three sisters on the roof from a distance. She was a little envious of them. In fact, she also wanted to climb to the top. It's just that Victor doesn't allow it. Elder sister Stella emphasized that Master Victor would not let her climb to high places. "I don't know why. If girls aren't allowed to climb walls, why are the three of Hancock allowed? If it is young, then Sabo will not be scolded for climbing walls." Kuina couldn't figure it out. Now climbing up to the roof has become something Kuina is looking forward to. "Want to go up?" At this moment, Robin came to Kuina and asked Kuina. Kuina glanced at Robin, then shook her head, and started practicing sword again. At this time, on the lawn of the yard, Victor was drinking and chatting with Akainu with a wine glass. Rodney and others followed. This time, I won the Admiral promotion for you, Victor said. Sakazuki is going to be promoted to Admiral. Ghost Spider, Dogman, Jonathan and the others widened their eyes. They were happier than Akainu, because one person attains Taoism in ascends to heaven. Akainu got promoted, so are they still far from being promoted? Without waiting for Akainu to say thank you, Victor said again, don't say thank you. Victor stopped, patted Akainu on the shoulder and said, this time you helped you get a promotion, but you paid a lot of money, and the relationship with Sengoku uncle is even deadlocked. Although the relationship between Victor and Sengoku is not very good, it is the first time that Victor said it himself. Victor went on to say, after all, Kuzan is the one they like and want to reuse. Akainu nodded subconsciously. Ghost Spider, Dogman and others also nodded. This is the consensus within Marine. Aokiji is their junior, why is he promoted so fast? In terms of strength and contribution, where is Akainu worse than Aokiji? Therefore, if there is no Victor this time, the promotion spot must belong to Aokiji. So, you owe me a lot, and you should thank me very much, Victor said with a smile. How can I thank you? Akainu asked seriously. He is really serious. Ghost Spider, Dogman and others thought Victor would make some demands. After all, value exchange is the way to survive. Victor said very seriously. After you are promoted to Admiral, help me work more shifts, so that I have time to be lazy and fish. After hearing Victor's answer, Akainu and others were stunned. Ha ha ha. Victor smiled and patted Akainu on the shoulder, we are comrades in arms, we need to advance and retreat together. Yeah. Akainu nodded. Okay, let's go eat, I can smell the aroma, and today there are North Blue's special snacks, let's congratulate Sakazuki Admiral together. Victor said to everyone with a smile. Akainu's hometown is in North Blue. Victor's move is to recommend Akainu and make Akainu the protagonist of the banquet. This gave Akainu enough face. People's hearts are made of flesh. Is Victor nice to Akainu? That's great, Ghost Spider, Dogman and others can see it. As for forming cliques, inside the Marine, which one does not form a gang to stand on the top of the mountain? Hanging with Victor is definitely better than following Sengoku. See Circle Calendar 1506. With Victor's recommendation, Akainu was promoted to Marine Admiral. Of course, the entire naval headquarters knew it was Victor's job. If Victor wasn't there, Aokiji would have been promoted. Although Kong is still marshal, and 5 elders has not appointed a new marshal, but some people have already sensed that the wind has changed. Now that the wind is blowing at naval headquarters, Victor has fallen. At the same time, although it has not been made public, the martial battle between Victor and Sengoku has been quietly going on in secret. The Blue Ocean Club headed by Victor represents radical young people. Now, Victor has won over Akainu, and his power in the headquarters is even stronger. It's really hard to say who will be the future marshal. It might really be Victor's. If Victor becomes the new Marine Marshal, he will be the youngest marshal in Marine history. Holy Land, Mariajoy. Blue blue. Blue blue. Blue blue. The phone bug was ringing incessantly at the desk. Akainu woke up from his sleep. As the new Admiral, his first assignment is to be on duty at Mariajoy. It is Admiral's responsibility to defend the Holy Land and ensure the safety of the Celestial Dragons. It was nothing at first. However, after 2 months, Akainu felt bored. And, because in Mariajoy, Celestial Dragons are available all day long. Experience the arrogance and brutality of the Celestial Dragons up close. When Akainu saw those slaves being treated as livestock, his heart was also touched a lot. All he can do is not to look at it, not to think about it. He repeatedly warned himself and gave himself hypnosis, these slaves are sinners. Only in this way, the justice in his heart will not be shaken. Completely wipe out the pirates and implement justice. At this moment, Akainu picked up the microphone of the phone bug. Marine, a slave has escaped. Send someone to assist in the search immediately. The people contacting Akainu now are not Celestial Dragons, but agents of CP0. They follow the Celestial Dragons every day, fighting against others. Akainu had long been annoyed at seeing them. However, he must cooperate. Because that's Admiral's job too. The slave is a murloc with a turban on his head, thick curly hair, a wide mouth, a beard, and a little stubble on his upper lip. The murloc who escaped was Fisher Tiger. Although Akainu's days on duty at Mariajoy are relatively short, there have been more than one incident in which slaves escaped. What can Akainu do in such a situation? You can only send people to search around. Anyway, slaves can't escape. Unless they can fly, climb, and jump off the Red Road. However, Marine soldiers searched for a day and a night, but failed to find Tiger. Maybe jump off. However, jumping from such a high place is basically dead. Maybe he couldn't bear to be a slave anymore, so he committed suicide? Akainu didn't take it to heart either, and the agents in charge of the hunt also hurriedly dismissed it. However, after Tiger escaped from Mariajoy, he finally returned to the Fishman Island. For a long time, the human beings headed by the world government have had a tense relationship with the murlocs and mermaids of the Fishman Island. Because of lack of mutual understanding, humans discriminate against murlocs and merfolk. In addition, the discriminatory attitude of the world government is particularly strong, and the celestial dragons, who are world nobles, have been buying various races including murlocs and mermaids as slaves through human traffickers. Fisher Tiger was captured and enslaved by traffickers shortly after the start of his last trip. For 3 years, he was not only imprisoned, but also abused, fully seeing the madness of human beings. When returning to the Fishman Island, Tiger immediately went to Dragon Palace City. On the Fishman Island, Tiger is a celebrity. Tiger is not only a well-informed adventurer, but also the leader of Murloc Street. Murloc Street has a significant influence on the Fishman Island. For example, Jinbei, who was born in Murloc Street, is now the boss of the army soldiers of the Dragon Palace Kingdom. Dragon Palace City. Tiger meets King Neptune and Princess Otahime. When Neptune saw Tiger's appearance, he frowned. Otahime covered her mouth and almost let out a gasp. Because the current Tiger has completely lost its former glory. Just from his appearance, one can tell what kind of crazy abuse he has been subjected to. For the past 3 years, I have lived a hellish life in Mariajoy. We are tortured every day, people die every day, and the celestial dragons will try their best to torture us. I see people dying around me every day, and their bodies are pulled out and thrown into the animal pen. I remember a kid, he was 11 years old, he just had a high fever, just some medicine could save him, but they threw him in a stable and we watched him being torn apart and eaten. Even if I escape, I will be awakened by nightmares every night. Tiger tells about 3 years of life. Tiger, I can feel your pain, you need to rest now. Otahime was born with observation haki, and she heard the great scream in Tiger's heart. Tiger wasn't lying. However, Tiger is not as vulnerable as Otahime. Tiger said to Otahime and Neptune, "Everyone has had enough. I decided to riot the holy place Mariajoy and free all the slaves there." Neptune frowned. Otahime's expression changed. Because Otahime has just delivered a speech at the signing event to promote the migration to the land to the residents of the Fishman Island. At this juncture, if the relationship with humans breaks down, I know the princess wants to live in peace with humans, but... When Tiger said this, the anger in his heart could not be suppressed, but I can't just sit and watch them die in hell. Neptune said in a deep voice, "Do you know the consequences?" Tiger said seriously, "Of course I know, so after I succeed, I won't go back to the Fishman Island." Although it is not a cut-off, Tezzolo is clearly drawing a line. North Blue, South Town. You guys go and move the box over there. Move faster. This shipment must be sent to the Sabodi archipelago as soon as possible. Members of the Don Quixote family are loading boxes of goods on a ship. These goods are highly profitable, because it's all contraband. Ever since Doflamingo got Victor's lap, his business has been booming. Sure enough, hugging the thigh is the kingly way. At this moment, Trafalgar Law was watching from afar. He wants to stay here. All the orphans in North Blue want to stay here. This is one big family. Baby 5 and Buffalo walked towards Luo not far away, and they came to play tricks on Luo again. Because Luo suffers from white lead disease, he is really weak. At this time, Clausen pushed open the door and stood in the corridor watching the minions who were loading and unloading the goods. This shipment was sent to Sabodi archipelago. It's from Tezzolo. Tezzolo is Victor's man. Only, Clausen has no proof. If there is any evidence, then he can definitely bring down Victor. I said Dover, are we really going to give it to Victor? Toribol was holding a box in his hand, and he was a little bit reluctant. We can get more, Doflamingo said with a laugh. Inside the box is a devil fruit. It is the golden fruit that Victor wants to get. Although he didn't complete the task that Victor gave him and couldn't find the golden lion, Victor didn't blame him. It's just that Doflamingo knows he has to provide value. Doesn't Victor want golden fruits? At least he has to find out the golden fruit first. Toribol said, by the way, Dover, recently Celestial Dragons has more and more demand for mermaids. Then send more people to catch them, and you can even go to the Fishman Island to catch them. Doflamingo smiled, as long as there is demand, are you afraid of being out of stock? As a professional human trafficker, Doflamingo has many ways to help Celestial Dragons catch the mermaid. For example, go directly to the island to rob people. Although the Fishman Island is Whitebeard's territory, Doflamingo is not afraid of it. As long as he doesn't reveal his identity, can Whitebeard still find him? The world is undercurrent, but it doesn't affect Victor. With a Kainu on duty for him, Victor is much freer. Sengoku likes to make troubles in the headquarters, so let him make troubles. Victor chooses to go home, and he has to make plans for the future. Sabodi Archipelago. There are several more children in Victor's family. These children were chosen by Lucci himself, such as Kaku, Khalifa and so on. Kaku, Khalifa and others are practicing on Guangzhou Island, and everyone has a foundation. Coupled with Victor's cultivation method, they will all have good growth. Victor is going to incorporate these children into the marine, and he himself has set up a secret army, Anbu. Lucci will be the head of Anbu, and Anbu only obeys orders from Victor alone. In Victor's conception, Anbu's ostensible mission is to reconnaissance the enemy's situation and assassination. In fact, the most important task is to do some dirty work for Victor. Due to the nature of the mission, all information of Anbu members is kept confidential. In addition, when Anbu moves, he needs to wear a mask. Victor creates zodiac masks. Lucci codename is Tiger. Sabodi Archipelago, inside Victor's villa. Doflamingo came to Victor in person with a gift. Victor Admiral, here's what you want. After Doflamingo finished speaking, Toribol behind him handed over the box containing devil fruit. Doflamingo himself opened it to reveal the devil fruit inside. A golden devil fruit. Paramecia golden fruit. Well, the efficiency is pretty good. Victor smiled when he saw it. Wright stepped forward and accepted the gift. Victor Admiral, something about Shichibukai. At this time, Doflamingo mentioned Shichibukai, and he now needs Shichibukai's identity, as well as privileges. Victor chuckled and said, your influence is not enough. Even if I arrange you to be Shichibukai, those monsters will not take you seriously. Hearing this, Doflamingo maintained a smile on the surface, but felt a little unhappy in his heart. I thought that by handing in the golden fruit, I could get the identity of Shichibukai by the way. After all, Victor had promised him that as long as he could complete the task, he could get everything he wanted. Victor seemed to see through Doflamingo's mind. He smoked a cigar and said with a smile, don't worry, I promised to give it to you, you just wait. If I don't want to give it to you, there is no use in worrying. Yes. Doflamingo forced a smile. Okay, let's go back. Victor waved Doflamingo away with a wave of his hand. After Doflamingo left, Victor said to Wright, go and get Tetsolo. Yes. Wright nodded. Soon, Tetsolo arrived at the villa. As long as Victor summons him, Tetsolo will always put down all the work in hand immediately. Just like a dog. When the dog hears the owner's call, no matter whether it is playing or not, it will always return to the owner at the first time. Tetsolo came to Victor. Victor said to Tetsolo, the business is going well recently. Tetsolo replied, the turnover of casinos has increased by 5 times, and entertainment venues other than casinos have also increased by more than 2 times. The loan business has the fastest growth rate, and it has increased by 20 times. The growth rate of human trafficking also more than double. Tetsolo is like a few treasures, reporting the recent performance growth. Pornography, drug gambling, arms smuggling, usury. These are the main sources of revenue. In addition, Tetsolo also intends to engage in other projects to generate income. In short, make as much money as possible. Tetsolo is indeed talented in making money, and he never tires of it. Well, you did a good job. Victor expressed his satisfaction, and then, Victor patted the box on the table. This is your reward, Victor said to Tetsolo. Tetsolo is also a big shot now, and he is no stranger to devil fruit. But what devil fruit will Victor reward him with? Tetzolo was curious about this. Under Tetzolo's expectant eyes, Victor opened the box. The moment the box was opened, Tetzolo was attracted by the golden devil fruit. It's what suits you best, and it will be your favorite, Victor said to Tetzolo with a smile. Tetzolo nodded subconsciously. He fell in love with it the first time he saw it. This may be love at first sight, Victor said. It's a good thing to make money, but you also need to have strength. Weak people can't keep wealth and power. Yes, Tetzolo replied. At this time, Victor said to Tetzolo, by the way, I will let Robin come to you for an internship for a while. When Tetzolo heard this, he was expressionless on the surface, but he was thinking in his heart. Could it be that Victor doubted him and planned to train someone to replace him? Victor said, you don't have to be suspicious. I really need to train an assistant, but it's not for you to be an assistant. Tetzolo breathed a sigh of relief when he heard this. Being able to retain power is the most important thing. Victor saw Tetzolo's reaction, and he was satisfied. This means he has successfully tamed Tetzolo. Tamed the dog. See Circle Calendar 1507. Holy Land, Mariajoy. As usual, in the middle of the night, Marine, who was in charge of guarding the holy place, wanted to doze off. In fact, it doesn't matter if you doze off while fishing. After all, it's so late, and no celestial dragons will be in or out at this time. As for the chiefs, they don't know how to check posts. However, under the cover of night, a man was climbing the almost straight and smooth red line. The man who climbed the red line was none other than Tiger. Tiger made a lot of preparations for tonight's action. Tiger unexpectedly came to the Holy Land Mariajoy. He is very familiar with this place, so he soon found the shed where the slaves were kept. A new girl came in yesterday. She is really beautiful. It is indeed a stunner. I heard that she is a dancer. Unfortunately, his father owed a lot of gambling debts and sold her to pay off the debts. It would be wonderful to sleep with her for one night. Don't think about it. Can this kind of good thing be your turn? At this time, the two guards were smoking and chatting. When a man chats, money, power and sex cannot be avoided. At night, all I can think about is my lower body. They didn't even notice that a man approached quietly. Tiger clasped the two guards tightly, and then quickly shot, grabbed their necks with his hands, and killed them both. After killing the two guards, Tiger continued killing until the door opened and the slaves were freed. Some of the slaves knew Tiger, and when they saw Tiger let them out, they were naturally grateful to Tiger. But Tiger knew that this was the beginning. If you want to free the slaves, you have to make a big fuss tonight. Otherwise, it would be difficult to escape from Mariajoy. Sabodi Archipelago. Stella fell asleep in Victor's arms. Victor has no feelings for Stella. It's just that one day I saw Stella in a maid outfit, bending over to clean, which was very attractive. So, let Stella sleep with her, that's all. Blue blue. Blue blue. At this time, the phone bug rang suddenly. Victor picked up the microphone. Master Victor, I'm Dino, it's not good, something serious happened. The Marine's terrified voice came from the phone bug. Victor couldn't help frowning upon hearing this. The person who is reporting to Victor is an officer in Mariajoy, now also in the rank of Vice Admiral. Dino joined the Blue Ocean Club the year before last. Before joining, he was already a Rear Admiral. It's just that I stayed in the position of Rear Admiral for a little while. Had Victor not been promoted, he would have retired with the rank of Rear Admiral for sure. What's wrong? Victor asked, frowning. The man in charge of guarding Mariajoy is a Kainu. Are there things that a Kainu can't solve? Wait, it seems that there are. A name came to Victor's mind. Fisher Tiger. Victor remembers Tiger climbing up the red line and making a fuss at Mariajoy. Not only did he successfully free a group of slaves, but he also created a sense of crisis for the celestial dragons. After all, this is the first time in 800 years that anyone has threatened the safety of the celestial dragons at close quarters. Is the situation serious now? Victor was silent for a moment, then asked. Dino hurriedly replied. Mariajoy is a mess now, and many houses are on fire. The specific situation will not be known until the situation stabilizes. The reason why Dino contacted Victor was that something had happened to Mariajoy. If celestial dragons were to pursue it, the consequences would be disastrous. Akainu is Admiral after all, possessing the power of a monster, celestial dragons will handle it as appropriate. However, Dino is only a Vice Admiral, and his strength does not match his position. Now that there are so many powerful vice admirals in the headquarters, if Dino hadn't joined the Blue Ocean Club, he would have to be a rear admiral if he died. Therefore, Dino is afraid of being held accountable, and even afraid of taking the blame. If such a big pot is carried on its back, the skin will peel off even if it is not dead. Don't be afraid, I will mediate this matter for you. You are a member of the Blue Ocean Society and my like-minded comrade. I will not ignore you. Victor speaks out to appease Dino. Thank you, Lord Victor. After Dino heard the words, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. He fears being held accountable. If the celestial dragons turned on him and turned him and his family into slaves, the consequences would be disastrous. Victor said, Okay, what you have to do now is to cooperate with Sakazuki to deal with Mariajoy. Yes. After Dino answered, he ended the call. Victor put the microphone down, then sat up and got up from the bed. Stella also got up from the bed and changed Victor's clothes. Stella is a sensible woman, and she knows that Victor is going to deal with big things now. She also heard the urgency of Dino's report just now. The fire is still burning. Luxurious palaces were charred black in the fire. The sporadic explosions are even more frightening. The celestial dragons wake up from their slumber, they are all terrified. I thought Mariajoy was safe enough. I didn't expect such a terrible thing to happen. Let some of the celestial dragons remember the Valley of the Gods. Agent CP0 is escorting the celestial dragons to safety with agents and guards. Their immediate mission is to protect the celestial dragons. While arresting people is important, if the celestial dragons are killed or injured, they are to blame. Marine also joined them, and they put saving lives as their first priority. Tiger was not wrong in his judgment. Only by creating enough chaos can the slaves escape. Akainu scowled. He had executed no fewer than 100 slaves. After these slaves regained their freedom, they began to retaliate. They set fires everywhere, snatched the weapons of the guards and attacked them. Is the subject of sanction. Ah, celestial dragons screamed. Mommy mommy. The crying of the child is also endless. Idiot. Save people first. At this point, a CP0 agent yelled at Akainu. He didn't save Akainu any face at all. Akainu frowned. Blue blue. Blue blue. Suddenly, the phone bug in Akainu's arms rang. It's Victor. Akainu picked up the microphone. Victor asked, What's going on now? Akainu replied, Rescuing people and putting out fires. Victor said, The safety of celestial dragons comes first, everything else is secondary, understand? Akainu froze for a moment, then hummed. Just when he was dazed, Akainu thought of the capital of Seven Waters. Citizens and quests of the capital of Seven Waters. However, the thought flashed by. Akainu will not ask stupid questions, for example, he will not ask Victor why the citizens of the Seven Waters are not important. Akainu is not the first day as a marine, he knows the difference. Mariajoy in the middle of the night is full of fiery red. The fire in the complex is still not effectively contained. It is impossible to control the fire with the help of non-firefighting professional guards alone. Of course, so does Marine. The knives and guns in Marine's hands are not fire extinguishers, and they can only use the most primitive methods to participate in extinguishing the fire. As for Akainu, he can only stare now. Akainu is not Aokiji, and his lava fruit is useless in a fire. At this time, Victor rode the wind and came to Mariajoy. Victor transformed into a titan in front of everyone. Then, the tattoo on Victor's back turned blue. The water element in the air condenses into a large water ball above Mariajoy under Victor's control. The water sphere grows larger and gradually covers the Mariajoy complex. Finally, the water polo fell slowly, like a layer of blue blanket, covering it. After the water blanket was put down, the flames were extinguished and white smoke billowed from the house. The transpired gas caused a white mist to rise from Mariajoy. The fire is finally out. A CP0 agent in an ape mask breathed a sigh of relief. Mariajoy had an accident, and CP0 agents were more nervous than anyone. Don't look at CP0, who is usually aloof, showing off his might, and being invincible. However, if anything happens to the celestial dragons, they're dead. Victor returns to human form. At this time, Akainu and others walked towards Victor. Victor patted Akainu on the shoulder. I'll deal with them first, then we'll deal with other things. Akainu nodded and watched as Victor approached several CP0s. Snapped. Victor raised his hand and slapped a CP0 on the cheek hard. The CP0 agent's mask was shattered and he was sent flying at the same time. This scene stunned Marine, agents, and guards. You guys are really capable of letting a group of slaves set fire and make trouble in the Holy Land. Victor said sarcastically. At this time, these CP0 agents were still in a state of confusion. They wanted to trouble Marine. Unexpectedly, Victor would be the first to attack. This time, I will investigate to the end. Victor looked at the CP0 agent who was still in a daze, and said harsh words. Akainu, Dino and others were all stunned. Does Victor's words mean that the responsibility is all CP0's and has nothing to do with Marine? At this time, Victor shouted behind him, Dino Vice Admiral. Dino Vice Admiral immediately ran over and stood up straight to salute. Victor said, block all the passages. In addition, check the identities of these guys. I suspect that slaves have mixed in. Yes. After Dino answered, he arranged for Marine to do something. Who put out the Mariajoy fire? It's Victor. As a result, Victor started to go crazy as soon as he arrived at Mariajoy. Give CP0 a hat first, and then start taking over Mariajoy. Of course, doing this kills 3 birds with 1 stone. First, Victor is here to gain favorability. Needless to say, the relationship between Victor and Angelati-san. Also used to escort the celestial dragons on a trip around the world. Therefore, Victor's impression and reliability in the hearts of celestial dragons, needless to say. After this incident, I believe celestial dragons will trust him more. This helps Victor get closer to the celestial dragons and obtain the secrets of the celestial dragons. Second, Victor is here to help Akainu deal with the aftermath, which can strengthen the alliance relationship. Make Akainu owe the favor again. Third, Victor appears now, in the image of Marine's savior, to save Dino and others. If Victor hadn't come to rescue them, they might have been blamed. In short, this time is beneficial to Victor. As for the beaten CP0, Victor wanted to beat a few more. Seeing CP0 stunned in front of him, this feels so good. After intimidating several CP0 agents, Victor went to find Angela Dessen. Angela D-san is currently Victor's backer. This time, in order to exonerate Marine, she still needs the help of Angelati. Under the leadership of the guards, Victor quickly found Saint Angelati. Angela Tishong was a little embarrassed. He was barefoot and without shoes. What happened tonight reminded Angelati of the unpleasant memories of the past. This is also PTSD syndrome. When Victor came to Angela Tishong's heart finally settled down. Victor, you are finally here. A smile appeared on Angela Tishong's face, and his face, which was slightly pale just now, also recovered. Victor said with concern, Your Highness, are you alright? I came here as soon as I heard that the evil party attacked Mariajoy. Angela Tishong waved his hand to show that he was fine, and then asked, Have those villains caught? Victor replied, I have ordered people to block all the passages, and started searching, and there will be results after dawn. Gritting her teeth, Angela Tishong said, After catching those villains, they must be sentenced to death. Don't worry, Your Highness, we will not let them go. Victor said. Yeah. Angela Tishong breathed a sigh of relief. At this time, a guard reacted quickly, and he was busy lying on the ground as a chair. Angela Dessen took the opportunity to sit down. Victor said, Your Highness, there are many doubts about the evil party's surprise attack on Mariajoy. I want to chat with the CP0 chief and the guard captain who are on duty tonight to find out the enemy's infiltration route and prevent the same thing from happening again. There are also CP0 agents in Angelati Street, as well as guards. After they heard Victor's words, their hearts tightened. These words are heartbreaking. Doesn't this imply that CP0 and the guards are negligent? Although CP0 is not managed by Angelati-san, Angelati-san is celestial dragons. As long as Angelati says there is a problem with CP0 and the guards, the rest of the celestial dragons will also suspect and investigate. What's more, there are indeed many doubts tonight. How did the intruders enter Mariajoy without anyone noticing? Do check it out. Well, I will leave this matter to you, and I will let them assist you in the investigation. Angela Dessen didn't want to be surprised again. The same goes for the rest of the celestial dragons. No one wants such a thing to happen again. Therefore, after Angela Tishon and the celestial dragons finished greeting, Victor had the right to investigate. The next day, it was just dawn. Including naval headquarters, and the surrounding branches of G2, G3, G4, G6, G8 and so on. All the Marines departed from the naval port to search for the suspects who attacked Mariajoy last night. After Sora, Sengoku and others learned that Mariajoy was attacked, they immediately thought of the Valley of the Gods. They were terrified. I am afraid that the Valley of Gods incident will repeat itself. I'm even more worried about this incident, which will involve Marine. Blue blue. Blue blue. At this time, the phone bug in front of Kuang rang. Sora immediately picked up the microphone. The phone bug mimicked Victor's voice. I've figured it out. The attacker was the Murloc Fisher Tiger, a former slave. He climbed the Mariajoy from the Red Line with his bare hands last night. When Victor said this, both Sora and Sengoku breathed a sigh of relief. Since they climbed up directly, they bypassed Marine's station, and Marine was exonerated this time. Therefore, Tiger enters Mariajoy to wreak havoc, and CP0 and the guards on duty bear all responsibility. Of course, beating a dog also depends on the owner. Although Victor has obtained the right to investigate, how to deal with CP0 and the guards is the matter of celestial dragons. Victor went on to say, now you can arrest people, and you must bring Fisher Tiger back. I understand. Put down the microphone. Was Victor ordering them? Sora shook his head. Sengoku has already got Marine in motion, been busy all night. Victor couldn't help yawning when he came out of the barracks. At this time, Akainu came over and handed Victor a cigarette. Victor took the cigarette and lit it for himself. Standing beside Victor, Akainu said, this time I've brought you into trouble again. You are my comrades in arms, they are my comrades, as they should be. Victor smoked a cigarette and said with a smile. Yeah. Akainu was not hypocritical, this time he really owed another favor. Moreover, it is still a great favor. If Victor hadn't taken over and had a good relationship with Angelati, he might have been blamed. At that time, the anger of celestial dragons will be transferred to him. Victor smiled and said, be patient, wait for the empty promotion, and someone will come to pick you up. One radish and one pit. Now wait for Kuang to be promoted to free up the position of Marshal. Whether it is Sengoku or Victor, as long as someone fills the position of Marshal. Then a new Marine Admiral is needed. Yeah. Akainu responded. Then watch over here first, I'm going to sleep, I'm really sleepy. After Victor finished speaking, he threw away the cigarette butt, and then found a barracks to sleep. When Victor entered the barracks, all the surrounding Marines stood up and saluted Victor. Although it is an iron camp and flowing soldiers, it does not apply to Mariajoy. Under normal circumstances, the Marines stationed in Mariajoy are only discharged and not rotated. They have been stationed in the Holy Land for a long time, and have seen too many Marines and guards dealt with. Something as big as it happened in Mariajoy last night, someone must have suffered. Normally, Marine has a higher chance of being blamed. Therefore, they watched the raging fire last night, and even imagined the fate of the whole family as slaves. However, Victor saves them. Now Marine investigates the agents and guards to find out who neglected their duties, allowing the intruders to infiltrate and wreak havoc. As long as the hats are put on, convict them. Then Marine will be free from suspicion and successfully exonerated. Fisher Tiger freed thousands of slaves enslaved by the celestial dragons. This incident, also known as the Mariajoy attack. Because of this Mariajoy raid, many slaves persecuted by the celestial dragons were freed. Therefore, Fisher Tiger became the leader of the slave liberation movement and the great hero of the Fishmen Island. At least, that's how some newspapers and public opinion described it. However, this is a great embarrassment to the world government. 5 elders wants CP0, and Marine wants Fisher Tiger with all his might. You must know that the only person who currently enjoys this treatment is Munkia da Dorag. This seems to regard Fisher Tiger as the enemy of the world government. However, Fisher Tiger's bounty was very average, only 230 million berry was offered. Although he was the first person in history to make a big fuss about Mariajoy, and he was also the first person who dared to challenge the world government, but his strength is too weak. Naturally, it fell to Victor to hunt down Fisher Tiger. After all, Victor has caught many big names with his own hands, and even the most difficult golden lion, Victor has caught twice. This is also 5 elders' affirmation of Victor's ability. Of course, there is also Angela Tishang's credit behind it. Compared to catching the golden lion, catching Fisher Tiger is not too difficult. Although Tiger and the others are Murlocs who are good at swimming and diving, as long as they can't fly, they can't escape Marine's pursuit. What's more, Tiger has a key point. That is, Tiger is a kind and nice guy. Good people don't live long. Marineford, Naval Headquarters War Room. Victor, as the commander of this mission, is responsible for chairing the meeting. At this time, Crane said to Victor, Tiger's whereabouts have not been found yet. I think they must be hiding. I suggest to investigate the island, especially the deserted island. Victor smoked a cigarette, then looked at Sengoku. Sengoku uncle, what do you think? When Victor asked him, Sengoku frowned and said, Tiger is a Murloc, he used to be a gangster in Murloc Street, and he has a high reputation in Murloc Street. He has committed such a big case this time, and he will definitely be with him. The Fishman Island has connections. Sengoku is not hiding clumsy, no misleading. I also think so. Victor smiled. I have sent people to the Fishman Island to keep an eye on the group of Murlocs. In fact, when Tiger was wanted, many Murlocs felt that they could not help Tiger, who dared to challenge the world government, so people who admired Tiger, including Jinbei and Arlong, resolutely left the Fishman Island to follow Tiger was born to die. Sengoku couldn't help but tense up when he heard this. Guys, now that you've done it all, you're still asking for my opinion? Victor went on to say, the capture mission this time is actually not difficult. Compared with capturing the Golden Lion, it is not that difficult at all. From now on, the focus is on the Fishman Island, and then every island on the Grand Line must be carefully searched to catch the man with the hoof of the Sky Serpent. Especially Murlocs and mermaids, it's better to catch the wrong one than let it go. This time the world government has lost face, and our Marines will not have a good time. After Victor finished speaking, he pinched the cigarette in his hand into the ashtray and said, the meeting is over. The Fishman Island. After coating 10 warships, they entered the Fishman Island. Move faster. Bison Brigade assemble. The 4th Brigade gathers. Horse Carl Brigade assemble. On the warship, Marine soldiers lined up on the deck and waited. Tens of thousands of Marines marched into the Fishman Island. This battle frightened the Murlocs and mermaids on the island. In the Dragon Palace, King Neptune and Princess Otahime learned that Marine was coming, and immediately took the ministers to meet him. Otahime wants to live in peace with humans. Naturally, I don't want the two sides to have conflicts. At this point, Victor disembarked from the flagship. Wright, Connor, Rodney, Felix and others followed behind Victor. I'm Marine Admiral Victor. Soon, Victor meets Neptune and Otahime, and introduces himself. This time I came to the Fishman Island, and I came with a mission. Murloc Fisher Tiger attacked Mariajoy, committing an unforgivable felony. So, I hope you will cooperate with Marine so that Marine can search smoothly. Victor's seemingly soft tone gave Neptune and Otahime an indescribable sense of oppression. All right. Victor didn't wait for Neptune to agree, and said without looking back, start. The troops began to search and arrest. Under Victor's order, Marine began hunting for the Fishman Island. Marine soldiers rushed into the houses of the Murlocs and Merfolk, not only smashed and searched, but also forced the Murlocs and Merfolk to take off their clothes and expose their backs for identification. Soon, the Fishman Island was disturbed. Even Dragon Palace City is no exception. The Murlocs and Merfolk trembled in front of Marine. Seeing this scene, Jinbei, Elong and others gritted their teeth, wishing to fight Marine on the spot. And not just on the Fishman Island. On land, Marine also started hunting for Murlocs and Merfolk. You are responsible for guarding the pier here. The others follow me. Not a single ship cannot be released. Send a few ships to patrol the sea, and the Murlocs also need to breathe when diving. A large number of Marines are hunting for Murlocs and mermaids on every island. In Sabaody Archipelago, in the capital of Seven Waters, in Alabasta. As long as it is a member country of the world government, it must assist the world government in arresting them. It was like a blow to the Murlocs from the human world. After catching Murlocs and mermaids, the first thing to do is to strictly identify themselves and check whether they have the Sky Dragon's hoof seal on their bodies. This also means that although Tiger has liberated many Murlocs to the sea, the brand of being slaves cannot disappear. Once they are discovered, they will still be caught and cannot be free for a lifetime. Even be executed. Grand Line, an island near Gaia. At this time, Tiger and his gang were busy tattooing. Not long ago, desperate Murlocs and mermaids found Tiger. Tiger knew that the Fishman Island, or the human world on land, could no longer accommodate them. Therefore, Tiger set up a pirate group and took them in. Not only the freed slaves, Jinbei and others also left the Fishmen Island and joined the Sun Pirates. In order to eliminate the celestial dragons branded Sky Dragon's hoof seal on everyone, so that there is no difference between the slaves rescued by Tiger and other members. The team members designed the sun mark similar to the dragon's hoof and branded it on the freed Murloc slaves. The new members who joined the pirates later also had the sun's mark tattooed on their bodies. Because of the sun tattoo, Tiger and others named the new pirate group the Sun Pirates. The Sun Pirates is the new home of the Murlocs and mermaids.